All right, we're about to begin. So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is overwhelming. I am suitably overwhelmed. So, I am a Brown Muslim Economist. I'm also the Brown Muslim Economist who's doing this show. But for those of you who do not know this, I also respond to the name Ridwan Kareem. But most of you know that. It's really great to see all of you here. Thanks for turning out. Thanks a lot. And thanks a lot to Grad Room for hosting this event, and to Lisa for connecting me with Stefanit and Liam and making this possible. So just a bit of background information about me so that you guys know where I'm coming from. I'm currently a PhD student of economics here at U of T. Oh. And here's the crazy part. I majored in development. My first paper was in international trade, and my current area of research is political economy. I am all over the place, and that is exactly what this event is going to be like too. So be prepared for that. We're going to begin, and we're going to take a very circuitous path to our finish line, which also explains why this is called perfectly elastic, because there is absolutely no rigidity in terms of the scope and topics that are going to be covered today. So I'm going to be here for roughly half an hour or so, and then we're going to take a short break, and then we'll have an open mic session if anybody's interested. Anybody who wants to go up can go up for roughly 5 minutes. Without the mic, yes. Without the mic in between.
Open floor.
So yes, open floor, I suppose is the right term. And please do come up if you want to. Don't worry, this is a friendly crowd. I'm counting on that. So I must tell you though that this event is going to put me in a very tricky situation. I'm going to get into trouble with my Muslim brethren for even being here, let alone doing this show. First of all, the genders are not segregated. The women are not sitting at the back of the room. And the men do not have their trousers rolled up above their ankles. That is an actual thing. Did you guys know that? Yes, my Muslim brethren knows what I'm talking about. It's a weird one. It's not the only weird one. But, you know, I can see from your faces you do not know what to make of it. But Orthodox literalist Muslims actually believe that it's a religious obligation upon you to roll up the end of your trousers above your ankles. Apparently we get our fashion sense from 1970s Archie's comics. Or vice versa. I never can get the direction of the causality correct. It's a big problem. But speaking of Archie's comics, they are wonderful. I think they're a brilliant source of inspiration to someone like me. They tell me that you do not have to be particularly funny to be relevant for decades. The future bodes well for the Brown Muslim Economist. But going back to the trousers above your ankle shenanigans, this is what happens when you try to follow the exact letter of the law instead of trying to understand the spirit of the law. So as the story goes, back in the 7th century Arabia, elite men used to let their gowns flow behind them. You know, when they were not engaged in naked, drunken orgies. They were really into that too back then. So not a lot has changed for elite Arabs since then. But flowing gowns was supposed to be a symbol of status and pride. And Muslims were required to counter this conspicuously by displaying their humility by rolling up their clothes above their ankles. Now imagine an alternate universe where in the 7th century Arabia, elite men would keep big, unkempt, bushy beards, and elite women insisted on covering their heads. Muslim in that universe look a whole lot different. The average Islamophobic person is afraid of a clean-shaven guy on the streets. And France insists that women cover their head in public places. It's weird how a random quirk can dictate so many people's lives in this way. And this is really the problem with the literal interpretation of scripture. You ignore the context, you ignore the nuances. And I like to think that as an economist, I know the importance of context. I like to think. People ask me, Ridwan, what is it that you love about economics so much? And I tell them immediately, it's not the math. But what I do love about economics is that it gives you tough answers to tough questions. It's easy to have good intentions about trying to change the world. It's much harder to have a good impact, and sometimes your good intentions can lead to negative consequences. Like how the free market system gave us Justin Bieber. Or how the democratic system gave us someone like Ted Cruz, who I think is a much worse candidate than Donald Trump.
Sure.
I like to mix it up a bit. Ironically, Canada is responsible for both beaver and cruise. I think this makes Canada legitimately one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Seriously. But here's the